Hello, student. Very good afternoon. This is Mayur S. More, your chemistry tutor. So, as you all know, we have finished the chapter called chemical equilibrium. Okay, and today we're gonna see the some of the numerical questions and some of the objective questions from this chapter. Okay, not from the previous years. This is not a PYQ session. PYQ session will be the next one. But in this session, we're gonna see how to solve some of the numerical based on it. Okay, and obviously the some of the objective question also. Okay, so I welcome you all to JE Chemistry session number 6 for chemical equilibrium. Okay, so let's begin. So the very first question, this is numerical actually. Okay, what is it? What does it say? 0.5 moles, 0.5 moles of N2 and 3 moles and 3 moles of PCl5 are placed in a 100-liter container heated to 227 degrees Celsius. The equilibrium pressure is 2.05 atm. Now, assuming ideal behavior, calculate the degree of dissociation of your PCl5 and the value of Kp for its dissociation. Now, to understand this, we don't know, we need to find out so many factors here. Okay. Firstly, what we need to find out is the degree of dissociation, alpha for PCl5 and also the Kp for its dissociation. Okay. Now let's suppose that x number of moles, let's suppose x number of moles of PCl5 are dissociated. They are dissociated at equilibrium. Okay. So PCl5, it dissociates to give you what? PCl3 plus Cl2. Now, how many moles of PCl5 we have to take initially? 3 moles, right? So, initially, there are 3 moles of PCl5, 0 moles of PCl3, 0 moles of Cl2 because it haven't formed that yet, right? Now, moles at equilibrium. Moles at equilibrium for PCl3 are X, for Cl2 are also X. And for PCl5, how many are there? 3 minus X, isn't it? That is how you got the moles at equilibrium. Now total number of moles at equilibrium, total number of moles at equilibrium will be equal to what? Nt. And your Nt will be equal to what? 3 minus x plus x plus x, right? Moles of PCl5, PCl3, Cl2 plus moles of what? Nitrogen, right? Because that is what they had told us, 0.5 moles of nitrogen. So that is 0.5, isn't it? So minus x plus x get cancelled. You get 3 plus x plus 0.5, which is equal to 3.5 plus x. That is the total number of moles in this case. Okay, now let's look at this reaction. The pressure is given here, right? Pressure is given, the volume is given, temperature is given, R you already know. From that, what can we get? We can get the number of moles, right? You know the equation PV is equal to nRT. So here N means NT, right? Total number of moles. So your NT will be equal to what? NT will be equal to PV by RT, right? NT will be equal to PV by RT. Now let's go to the next page. NT is equal to PV by RT. What is your PV there? P is equal to 2.05 atm. Volume is how much? 100-liter volume. R is 0.0821 liter atmosphere per mole per Kelvin multiplied by temperature. How much is the temperature? 227 degrees Celsius. 227 degrees Celsius plus 273. How much is that? 273 plus 27 is equal to how much? 273 plus 27 is equal to 300. 300 plus this 2, 500 degree Kelvin, isn't it? So this multiplied by 500 degree Kelvin. Now Kelvin per Kelvin gets cancelled. ATM, ATM gets cancelled. Liter gets cancelled. You should get per mole only. That is what you got. Per mole on going up becomes mole. Okay. 2.05 into 100. How much that should be? 205. Sorry. That is equal to 205 divided by 8.21 into 10 raised to minus 2 multiplied by 5 into 10 raised to plus 2 mole, right? 10 raised to minus 2, 10 raised to plus 2 gets cancelled. That becomes 1 ultimately. And 8.21 into 5, that is equal to 5 ones are 5, 5 twos are 10, 0, 1, 5 eights are 40, 40 plus 1, 41, 40.05. So 205 divided by 41.05. Now that will give you your NT. Now if you look at this, this is roughly 5. You can see this. This is roughly equal to 5 because 45 is a 200. This is 1.05. 1.05 into 5 is equal to something 5.1 something. This is 205. So it is roughly equal to 5, right? So your NT is equal to 5. Now previously what we got NT? NT was equal to 3.5 plus X, right? So equating both the terms together, what do we get? NT is equal to 3.5 plus X, and here NT is equal to 5. Equating both of this together, therefore 3.5 plus X is equal to 5. Therefore X is equal to 5 minus 3.5. 5 minus 3.5 is how much? 1.5. So that is what your X is all about, right? So you got the X now. Now what they have asked is degree of dissociation for PCl5. Alpha for PCl5. Alpha for PCl5, how much it has dissociated? That means X. What is X? You just find out, right? X was equal to 1.5. And how much mole did we take of PCl5? 3. So 1.5 divided by 3 is equal to 0.5. So 0.5 is the degree of dissociation for your PCl5. Okay. Now that is for PCl5 alpha. Now what have they asked us to calculate? The Kp. Okay. Now to calculate the Kp, I need a little bit space here. Okay. So I need to erase all the space that we have here. So your Kp. Now Kp will be equal to what? Your pressure of PCl3, pressure of Cl2, right? And pressure of PCl5. Now if you look at the pressure, now as far as partial pressure is concerned, suppose if I ask us to calculate the partial pressure of PCl5, partial pressure of PCl5 will be equal to what? Its number of moles divided by total number of moles, right? What are total number of moles? 3.5 plus X. And what are its moles? 3 minus X. So let's calculate it here. Kp will be equal to partial pressure of PCl3 multiplied by partial pressure of Cl2 divided by partial pressure of PCl5. Now let's calculate partial pressure of each one of them. Partial pressure for PCl5 is equal to its number of moles. Its number of moles are how many at equilibrium? 3 minus X. 3 minus X divided by what? 3.5 plus X, isn't it? 3.5 plus X. And what is X? X is equal to 1.5. We just calculated, remember? X was equal to 1.5. So 3 minus 1.5 divided by 3.5 plus 1.5. 3 minus 1.5 is equal to what? 1.5. And 3.5 plus 1.5 is equal to 5. So 1.5 divided by 5. That is your P, partial pressure of PCl5. Similarly, partial pressure of PCl3. PCl3 is equal to how much? X, right? X divided by what? Total number of mole, 3.5 plus X. So x is how much again? X is 1.5 only, right? 1.5 divided by 3.5 plus x. 3.5 plus x is equal to again 5. So this is 1.5 divided by 5. And lastly, same will be applicable for partial pressure of Cl2 also. See, for Cl2 also, it will be equal to x divided by what? 3.5 plus x. What is x? 1.5. What is 3.5 plus x? 5. Now all of these are what? These are mole fraction multiplied by what? Mole fraction multiplied by P and P. Okay. So basically your Kp will be equal to 1.5 divided by 5 into P into 1.5 divided by 5 into P divided by again 1.5 divided by 5 into P. 1.5 divided by pi into P. This gets cancelled. This gets cancelled. So your Kp ultimately equal to what? 1.5 divided by 5 into your P, right? What was your P now? 1.5 divided by 5. So 1.5 divided by 5. Have we got this right? Just a sec. 1.5. 1.5. Yes. So 5 divided by 1.5 is equal to 0.3. This is equal to 0.30 multiplied by pressure. What was your pressure? 2.05. So 2.05. So 2.05 into 3, right? So this is 3 into 10 raised to minus 1. 3 5s are 15, 5, 1. 3 0 0, you get 1. 3 2s are 6. 6.15, basically 6.15 into 10 raised to minus 1, which is equal to 0.615. That is your Kp. So your ultimate Kp is 0.615 atm. That is how you can calculate the Kp for this given equation. Okay? So these are the ways by which you can solve the numericals of this kind. Moving ahead. Now, for this reaction, CaCO3 dissociates to give you CaO plus CO. Okay. The K for this reaction is 0.059 atm is already given. Now 1 kilogram of CaCO3 is placed in a 10-liter container at 1000 Kelvin to reach the equilibrium. Calculate the mass of CaCO3 that was left at equilibrium. So they are basically asking after the reaction how much CaCO3 must have been left there. Okay, so let's solve it now. So how can we solve this? Firstly, writing the balanced reaction CaCO3. Okay, it undergoes reversible reaction to give you CaO plus CO2. Right now, the K. See, this is solid state. This is solid state, and the CO2 is what? Gaseous state. So the K for here is nothing but the Kp. Kp is equal to 0.059. Okay, now what they have told us again, we started with 1 mole of this, 0 mole of this initially, right? You can take 1 or you can take A also. Let's take it A 0 0. So this is X A minus X, isn't it? That is what? NT. I would rather say moles at equilibrium. Moles at equilibrium. Now this Kp will be ultimately equal to the partial pressure of CO2 only. CO2 only, because other two species are in a solid state. And as I told you, if you remember, the partial pressure of pure solids and pure liquids are what? Partial pressures of pure solids and pure liquids are taken as unity. Okay, now 1 gram of CaCO3, okay, you can always calculate the number of moles from that. If you take the CaCO3, its molecular mass is how much? calcium is 40, carbon is what, 12, oxygen is 16 into 3, 48, right? So 48 plus 12, 60 plus 40, 100. So 100, 1 divided by 100, right? 0.01 moles. That is what you have, the number of moles of CaCO3. So basically you know the A, okay? You need to find out the X somehow. When you get the X, you can solve the mass of CaCO3, that is what left at the equilibrium. Okay, now as I told you, this Kp for this reaction is given 0.059. Other two species are in a solid state. So this is nothing but the pressure of your CO2, which is 0.059. Okay, now pressure is there, volume is given, temperature is given, R you already know. So what can you get from there? You can get the X. Basically you can get the number of moles of CO2, right? Now as per our ideal gas equation formula, ideal gas equation, what is it? It's a PV is equal to nRT, right? Therefore your N is equal to PV by RT. And you need to calculate. P is already given there. How much is the P? 0.059 atm multiplied by volume. How much is the volume? 10 liters. How much is the R? 0.0821 multiplied by your, sorry, multiplied by your temperature. Temperature is how much? 1000 degree Kelvin, right? So 1000 degree Kelvin. So 0.059 into 10 is equal to what? This decimal point moves here, 0.59. You can roughly take it as 0.6 also. So when this 1000 multiplies by this, it becomes how much? It becomes 82.1. So this ultimately equal to 6 divided by 82. You can make it not 6 actually, sorry, 0.6 divided by 82. Okay, you can make it like that or to make your calculation easier. So now you can make it like 6 divided by 82. 6 divided by 82. Okay, obviously multiplied by 10 raised to minus 1. So 0, 0, 0 0.0, 82. 8 5s are 40, 8 6 are 48, 8 7s are 56. So 82 into 7. 7 2s are 14, 4, 1. 7 8s are 56 plus 1, 57. So 82 7s are 574. 0.007 multiplied by 10 raised to minus 1. So ultimately it becomes 0.007. Okay. So what remains is 26, 0. 82 twos are 144. 0.072. So basically it is 0.072. That is what your N is. Okay. Now you basically you got what? You got the X only. That N is nothing but what? This is X, right? Now how much how much CaCO3 remain? Firstly, you will get the number of moles of CaCO3 remain. Then by multiplying to it by its molecular mass, you will get the mass of CaCO3. So A minus X basically, right? So now number of moles of CaCO3 is equal to A minus X. We just got the X. What is A? A was remain 0.01, remember? So it was 0.01 minus 0.0072. So how can we make it in easier terms? Suppose I move this decimal point by 3, it will become 10 into 10 raised to minus 3. Similarly, if I move this decimal point by 3, 1, 2, 3, it will become 7.2 10 raised to minus 3. So 10 minus 7.2 is how much? 2.8, right? 2.8 into 10 raised to minus 3. That is number of moles of CaCO3. Now, you need to calculate the mass of CaCO3, right? So mass of CaCO3 is equal to number of moles multiplied by its molecular mass, which is 100, right? So n is equal to 2.8 into 10 raised to minus 3 into 100, which is 10 raised to plus 2. So 10 raised to minus 3, 10 raised to plus 2 is equal to 10 raised to minus 1. So 2.8 into 10 raised to minus 1 is equal to 0.28. That is what the mass of CaCO3 would be remain in this particular reaction. Okay, that is how you can solve this kind of questions. Okay, moving ahead. Numericals. Okay, sorry, my bad. We are already considering this numericals and objective question. Now, the value of Kp. The value of Kp for the reaction 2H2O plus 2Cl2 reacts to give you 4HCl plus O2 is 0.035 atm. Okay, at 500 degree Celsius. When the partial pressures are expressed in atmosphere, obviously. So if you know the Kp, they have asked us to calculate the Kc for the reaction. Now you already know the relationship, right? So they ask us to calculate Kc for the reaction. Which reaction? This reaction. This particular reaction, they have asked us to calculate the Kc. Now you already know the relationship between Kc and Kp, right? What is the relationship? Kp is equal to Kc Rp raised to delta Ng. What is delta Ng? Difference between the number of moles of product and the number of moles of reactant. Number of moles of product are how many? 4 plus 1, 5. Number of moles of reactant are how many? 2 plus 2, 4. 2 minus 5 minus 4 is equal to 1, right? So RT raised to 1, that means RT will stay as it is. So Kp is already given. Kp is 0.035. That's your Kp. Kc, you need to calculate Kc into RT. What is RT? 500 degrees Celsius. So you need to convert that to what? Degree Kelvin, right? So 500 plus 273 becomes 773 degree Kelvin multiplied by what? Multiplied by your R. What is your R? 0.0821 raised to 1. So now from this you can calculate your Kc. Now firstly we need to multiply 8.21 by 773. So 8.21, it will become what? 10 raised to minus 2 multiplied by 773. 773 1 the 773, so 377. 773 into 2. 2 3s are 6, 2 7s are 14, 4, 1. 2 7s are 14 plus 1, 15, 1546. 1546 plus 77. 7 plus 6, 3, 1. 7 plus 4, 11 plus 1, 12, 2, 1. 5 plus 1, 6, 1, 6, 2, 3. Out of that, 3 will become here. 162 will be carried forward. Now 773 into 8. That's a very big. 8 3s are 24, 4, 2. 8 7s are 56 plus 2, 58. 8, 5. 8 7s are 56. 56 plus 5, 61. 6184 plus 162. 4 plus 2, 6. 8 plus 6, 14. 4, 1, 3. 6 3 4 6. 6 3 4 6. Now decimal point. How many decimal point are there? 1 2 3 4. 1 2 3 4. It becomes 63.46. So therefore your Kc will be equal to 0.035 divided by 63.46. So if you make it easier, suppose if I make it like what, 350. So if you want to make it 350, it will become 350 into 10 raised to minus 4 divided by, let's make it 63.5. Okay, to make our calculation easier, right? So 63.5, 350 divided by 63.5. So this must be somewhere around 63.5 into 5. 5 5 25, you got 5 2. 5 3 is a 15 plus 2, 17, 1. 5 3 is a 30, 30 plus 1, 31. 3175. And this is 3, just a sec, 63.5. Yeah, 317.5. Nah? Yeah. So your Kc will be equal to 5 point something. 5 into 10 raised to minus 4, let's suppose. Okay. To make our calculation easier. Now, you got the Kc for this reaction. Now, let's look at this reaction. They have asked us to calculate. You got the Kc for this reaction now. Okay. This is the Kc for this reaction. We don't know the Kc of this reaction just as yet. We need to compare both of these and then we need to calculate the Kc for this reaction. So we got the Kc for this reaction. Now look at the reaction which they have asked us to calculate the Kc for. So if you look at it, it's a reverse of this reaction. Look at this, it's a reverse. 4HCl on that side, O2 on that side, H2O on this side, Cl2 on this side. If you look at it closely, you will understand that this reaction, suppose this is the first reaction, this is the second reaction. Now Kc1 you already got it, Kc1. If you look at the Kc2, it is just like if you're squaring the Kc2, if you're squaring the Kc2, you would get the Kc1. See, squaring of O2, not actually squaring, multiplying by 2. So multiplying by 2, that means what? Basically you are squaring it, right? So it will be like what? Kc2 square is equal to Kc1. So if you want to get the Kc2 and also inverse, it is also inverse. So Kc2 will be equal to 1 divided by this Kc2, 1 divided by what? Square root of Kc1. That is what the correlationship between them. So let's go on this page. Kc will be equal to 1 divided by square root of Kc1. 1 divided by square root of Kc1. What is Kc1? 5 into 10 raised to minus 4. So you can make it like 1 under root 500 into 10 raised to minus 2. You can always make it like that, right? So what is the square root of 500? Well, we don't know. We need to look. The square root of 400 is 20, right? So 21, maybe 22. 22 into 22, 22 into 44, you got 4. 22 into 22, 44 plus 4, 488. So 484. So it will be like, suppose 22.22, right? And 10 raised to minus 2. Square root of 10 raised to minus 2 becomes what? Square root of 10 raised to minus 1 become 10 raised to minus 1, right? So 1 divided by 22.22 into 10 raised to minus 1. 22 into 10 to 10 raised to minus 1 becomes 1 divided by 2.222. That is your Kc2. So Kc2 basically you can take 1 divided by 2.2, right? Now on calculating this, what can we get? 1 divided by 2.2, 0, like it 100 or 22. So yeah, 22 fours are 88. You got 12, 0. And 28 fives are 110, 0.45. So Kc2 is equal to 0.45. That is how you can calculate the Kc1 and Kc2 for the given equation. That is the way of calculation. Okay, moving ahead with these questions. Now, the next one, ammonium hydrogen sulfide. Ammonium hydrogen sulfide, which is NH4HS, is dissociated according to the equation to get you NH3 plus H2S. If the observed pressure, of the mixture is 2.24 atm, 2.24 atm at 106 degrees Celsius, what is the equilibrium constant Kp for the reaction? Now again the Kp. See, this reaction does not have a much catch here. Your Kp basically equal to what? Kp will be equal to the partial pressure of the systems, right? Now partial pressures of what? NH3 into partial pressure of what? H2S divided by nothing. Why divided by nothing? Because NH4HS is in a solid state. So even if I take the partial pressure of NH4HS, it will be 1 only, right? So it is as good as taking nothing, right? Now, so if you look at this dissociation, it is not much complicated. See, if I write it like this, NH4HS, okay, it is dissociating. Now we don't know how many moles of ammonia you are getting, how many moles of H2S you are getting there. But suppose if I started this with 1, 0, 0. As far as if you look at the reaction, as far as the reaction is concerned, it looks like what? X, X, and 1 minus X, right? Now this is in solid state, so this ultimately becomes what? 1 only, right? It ultimately becomes 1 only. Now if you look at the partial pressure, so both pressure of NH3 and pressure of H2S seems to be what? There seems to be same, isn't it? There seems to be exactly same. So therefore, your if you look at this, the total pressure, what they asked us, the observed pressure of the mixture is 2.24 atm. That means this X plus X is equal to what? 2X. So this 2X is equal to 2.24 atm, because this is equal to 1, no? So this X plus X is equal to, these are the total number of moles at equilibrium, or I would say total pressure here. So 2X is equal to 2.4. So therefore X is equal to what? 1.12, right? X is equal to 1.12. So that is your partial pressure of NH3 as well as H2S. Both are same, as you can see here. Now your Kp will be equal to what? Partial pressure of NH3 multiplied by partial pressure of H2S. So partial pressure of NH3 is how much? 1.12. Partial pressure of H2S is how much? 1.12. So basically squaring the 1.12. So squaring the 1.12, what do we get? 1.12 multiplied by, suppose, 112 into 10 raised to minus 2. 112 into 2, 224. So 112 into 1, 112. 112 plus 22, 144. 4, 1, 3. 112 ones are 112. 112 plus 13, 125, right? So 125. Decimal pointer 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So basically 1.2544. So 1.2, sorry, 1.2, just a sec, let me rub it down. Yeah. So your Kp will be equal to 1.2544 atm square. That is your Kp for this particular reaction. It wasn't that complicated, but it had a catch. So you need to check that what is that catch. Okay, it might confuse you in the exam time. Okay, chalo, moving ahead. Now, this is a kind of objective question. What does this question says? The volume of a closed reaction vessel in which the volume of a closed reaction vessel in which the equilibrium 2SO2 reacts with O2 to give you 2SO3 set is halved. The volume of the reaction is halved. So if the volume is halved, what is the concentration? Concentration is N by V. Okay. So if you make this volume half, N is equal to, suppose this volume is 1 liter. Okay. So your C is equal to N by 1. Now your C is equal to N divided by 1 by 2. So basically it is equal to 2N. So this was single N. This was 2N. Now that means what? Number of moles are increasing. So if the number of moles are increasing, what will reaction do? Reaction will try to go in that direction where number of moles are decreasing. And if you look at this reaction, the number of moles are decreasing when the reaction goes in forward direction. How? Because number of moles of reactant are 2 plus 1. So there are 3 moles on reactant side and 2 moles on the product side. So when you go from reactant to product side, which is in forward direction, number of moles are decreasing. And that is why reaction should go in the forward direction only. Okay. So what option suits it the most. The rates of forward or backward reaction will remain the same. No, that is not true. That would have been true had there been same number of moles of reactant and product. As I told you, as we had seen in Le Chatelier principle, if the number of moles of reactant and product are same, then rate of forward and backward reaction will remain the same. No matter, even if you increase the pressure, even if you decrease the pressure, or even if you increase the volume, or even if you decrease the volume. Okay, so that it's not the correct option. Second, the equilibrium will not shift. That is also not right. The equilibrium will shift to the left. That is also not right. So that means we are left with only one option, which is fourth. And what does that says? The rate of forward reaction will become double that of the reverse reaction, and equilibrium will shift to the right. Absolutely. And that is why the D is the correct option in this case. Okay, chalo. Moving ahead. Now, this question. Equilibrium constant of the reaction A2 reacts with B2 to give you 2AB at 100 degrees Celsius is 50. So Kc is already given. You call it Kc or Kp, whatever it is. Okay. Now, in 1 liter flask, in 1 liter flask containing 1 mole of A2, 1 liter flask containing 1 mole of A2 connected to 3 liter flask containing 2 moles of B2. The number of moles of AV formed at 373 Kelvin will be. Now what have they done here is that, let me tell you. See, this is one flask. Okay. This flask is having what? 1 mole of A2. It is connected with 3. See, this is 1 liter flask. Okay. And this is 3 liter flask. So this is having 1 liter flask containing 1 mole of A2, 3 liter flask containing 2 moles of B2, right? So that is how they would react. And while reaction, they gives you what? They gives you AB. So that is what the Volt question is all about. Now they're asking out that containing 2 moles of B2, the number of moles of AV formed is. Okay, how can we solve this? See, A2 gaseous form, B2 that is also in a gaseous form. Reaction is reversible as obviously it gives you 2AB gaseous. Okay, so initially at the start, what they have told us, 1 mole of A2 and how many moles of B2? 2 moles of B2, 0 moles of AB, since they haven't formed it yet, right? Now that is initially. Now at equilibrium. At equilibrium, what must be happening? You can see the number of moles of AB are 2. So this is 2x. So out of this 2x, one x comes from B, another x comes from A2, right? So your 2x should be distributed between these two as 2 minus x and 1 minus x. So that is how you got the concentrations at equilibrium. Okay, now the total number of moles. Total number of moles at equilibrium are how many? Nt. Nt will be equal to 1 minus x plus 2 minus x plus 2x. There is something problematic here because 1 minus x, this will become what? Single x. Okay. Let's omit it for some time. Okay. Now what they have asked us, see this, you haven't got the concentration just as yet. Why? Because you also need to see the total volume. What is the total volume here? Total volume is 3 liter flask of B and 1 liter flask of A2. So total volume is equal to 1 plus 3, 4 liters, right? So you can always get the concentration by dividing total number of moles divided by 4, right? So it is 1. So concentrations at equilibrium. is equal to 1 minus x divided by 4, 2 minus x divided by 4, 2x divided by 4, right? 2 divided by 2 is equal to x by 2. Now you already know what Kp is, right? So from you already know the value of Kp, you know this concentrations at equilibrium. So from that you can calculate what? The x. Because once you get the x, you can get the number of moles of AB formed. Because that is what our ultimate objective is all about, right? So yeah, your Kp will be equal to constant AB, the coefficient of AB will be squared because the coefficient is 2, right? So x by 2 will be what? Squared. So x by 2 squared divided by 1 minus x divided by 4. That is for your A2, right? And for B2, 2 minus x divided by 4, right? And one more thing, just a sec. Pressure 1 mole A2 3-liter flask. Volume is given. Temperature is given. Get the number of moles. Yeah. So now the value of Kp is already given. It is 50. See here. This is your Kp. So yeah, x by 2. It is x square. 2 square is 4 multiplied by, this goes above, 4 into 4 divided by 1 minus x into 2 minus x. That is equal to what? 50. 4 gets cancelled. What do we have? Kp is equal to 50 is equal to 4 into x square, 4x square divided by 1 minus x, 2 minus x. Now obviously we need to solve this. So how can we solve this? 1 minus x into 2 minus x. So 2 ones are 2, 2 minus 2x, right? Now x ones are x, so x minus minus, it become what? Plus x square. So x square minus 2x plus x, it becomes what? Minus x square minus x plus 2. So your 4x square divided by x square minus x plus 2, that is equal to 50, right? So on cross multiplication, what do we get? 50 multiplying by this, you get 50x square minus 50x plus 50 into 2, 100 is equal to 4x square. Sending 4x square to that side, 50x square minus 4x square, what do we get? 46x square minus 50x plus 100 is equal to 0. Now you need to solve this to get the roots of the x, right? How can we get the roots of x? What is the formula for it? X is equal to minus b plus minus b square minus 4ac divided by what? 2a, isn't it? So minus b, that means what? Minus 40, sorry, minus 50, right? It is because this is ax square minus bx plus c. So your b is 50. So minus into bracket minus 50 plus minus b square. B square is what? 50 square. 50 square is how much? 5 square is what? 25. So it is 2500 minus 4ac. 4 into a. A is 46. C is how much? 100, right? Divided by 2a. 2 into 46, it is 92. So yeah, you can get x is equal to 50 plus minus 2050 square. Let's calculate it. 50 into 50. 50 0 0. 55 are 250. Yeah, so I was right. 2500. Yes. Now minus 46 into 4. How much? 46 into 4. 46 or 92. So it is 92 to 184. So 4 6 are 24, 4 2, 4 4s are 16 plus 2, 188. So yeah, 184 into 100. 100 4s are, so basically it becomes 18,400. Some something must be going wrong here, because if it goes like that, it will give you negative value 20. So let's go here. So 2 multiply this 2, 2 minus 2x. Oh yes. So this, when x multiplies this, you get the minus x here. So it's basically minus 3x plus 2. X square minus 3x plus 2. That means when 50 multiplies this, it becomes 150x. Sorry, my bad. So you need to, so you basically this ultimately equal to 46 x square minus, just 46, yeah, 46 x square minus 150x plus 100. Now it is right. So b square, that means what? You are basically squaring the 150. Rest everything is same. No problem with that. Everything is same. Divide by 2a. 2a is what? 2 into 46, which is 92. So everything is right. Where we went wrong is this. So 150 square, basically b is 150. So we need to square now 150. So what is the square of 15? Square of 15 is 225, right? So 225, and when you are squaring, 10 becomes 00. So it is 22,500. Now it is right. So 50 plus minus 22,500 minus 18,400 divide by 92. Okay, let me make some space again now, here only. I hope we have arrived till here. You must have understood this, how we are doing this. And as a kid, you also must have done this in your 9 or 10 standard. That is when you had studied this quadratic equation, right? So yeah, so 22,500 minus 18,400, what do we get? 0 0 1, you get basically 4,100. X is equal to 50 plus minus 4,100 divided by 92. 4,100 is the square of what? Now that is what we need to figure out. Uh, let's calculate. Square of 30 is like 900. Square of 33 or 30, this is 41, no? So it must be somewhere around 39. Let's see. 39 nines are 9. I don't know. 9 nines are 81. 1 you get 8. 9 threes are 27. 27 plus 8, 35. So you get 1, 35. 39 threes are, again I don't know. 9 threes are 27, 7 2. 3 threes are 9. 9 plus 2, 11. 117. 117 plus 35. Sorry. 7 plus 5, 2, 1. 5, 1. 1 3 5 2. Ah, no, this must be wrong. 33, 33, 39, 30s is 900. 33 into 30. 33 is a 99, 9, 9. 33 3s are 99. 99 plus 9, 108. 1089. So 33, maybe then 38, 39 into 39. Let's calculate it once again. 9 nines are 81. You got 1 8 here. 9 threes are 27. 27 plus 8, 35. So you get 1 here and 35 carry forward. Now 39 into 3. 3 nines are 27. 7 2. 3 threes are 6. 6 plus 2 8. 87. Yes. 87 plus 35. 7 plus 5. 1. 8 plus 3, 11. 11 plus 1, 1. So 1, 2, 2. So basically 1, 2, 2, 1. Now it is very, very less. 1221. So it is 4100 now. That's a huge number. It must be what then? 1221. 59, 69. The square of 100 is 10,000. So this can't be 100. Square of 59. It must be having 9 somewhere. Okay, let's take 61, suppose. 61 ones are 61, you got 1, 6. 61 6 are 61 into 6, 61 on the 61 into 6, 6 ones are 6, 6 6 are 36. 336 plus 6, 372. So 3721. So it can't be 61 also, because this number is still large. It might be 69. Let's see. I don't know. 69 into 9. 9 nines are 81. You got 1, 8. 9 6 are 54. 54 plus 8, 62. So you got 621 here. You got 1, 62. 69 into 6. Now 6 nines are again 54, 5. 6 6 are 36. 36 plus 5, 41. 414 plus 62. 4 plus 2, 6. 6 plus 4, 6 plus 1, 7. So this is 4761. Now that is again huge number. So it can't be 69 and it can't be 61 also. It must be somewhere in between them. Maybe 67. We need to go as closer as possible. Okay, in the exam it is generally given to you. Okay, in the exam if it comes like this, they have already given you the value of square root of 44,100. But here we are making an attempt to solve this, and I can use the calculator very easily, no problem with that. But in the exam you are not allowed to use the calculator. That is why I'm not solving in with the help of calculator. Okay, so there is a possibility that this value might go here and there. Okay, so 61 is not small, 69 is quite large. So it might be 67 or 66, something like that. 67, I don't know. 67 into 7, 7 7s are 49, 9 4. 7 6 are 42, 42 plus 4, 46. So 4 is 69, you got 9 here, 46. 67 into 6 again. 6 7 are 42, you got 2, 4 there. 6 6 are 36. 36 plus 4, 402. 402 plus 46, 448. So 4489 again. So 65 maybe, or 63 maybe. 63 threes are 180, 189. You got 18. 63 6 are 402. 402 plus 18, 420. 420. Again 4209. So it must be smaller than 63. 61, quite small. 61, 1 the 61, you got 1. 6 there. 61 into 6, 6 6 the 6, 6 6 the 42, 426. Oh, sorry. 61 or 6, you get 61 into 6, 6 6 the 6, 6 6 the 36, 366 plus 6, 372. So let's suppose it is somewhere between 63 and 62. Suppose it is around 63. So x is equal to 50 plus minus 63 divided by 92. Now let me rub here. So x is equal to 50 plus 63 divided by 92, or is equal to 50 minus 63 divided by 92. So your x is equal to 50 plus 63 is equal to how much? 37 plus 50, 113 divided by 92. Now that is more than 1, right? And that can be the x. X can be more than 1, right? So 50 minus 63 is minus 13 divided by 92. So that is somewhere around your x is all about. 13 divided by 92. So 13 divided by 92 is how much now? Plus minus 13 divided by 92, 0. 92 ones are 92. We got 8, 38, 0. 92 threes are 276. So yeah, so your x is equal to somewhere around 0.13. Okay, and amount of AB form is 2x. So x is equal to how much? X is equal to 0.13, right? 2 into 0.13 is equal to 0.26. Now I don't know what went wrong here. Number of moles of AB formed here. Anyway, we might have gone wrong somewhere in the calculation. I don't know, because we have to calculate the under root of that, right? And calculation of under root is very difficult. You can calculate the square directly, but to calculate the under root is very difficult. So if you get the answer, please tell me in the comment section. Okay, so that's it for today's session. This question took a lot of time. Okay, in the next lecture we gonna cover the PYQ, which is previous year questions, and that those questions are really important. The question which I solved just now, such kind of questions might not be asked in exam, and if you can check all the question paper, please do it. You will see that such questions has never been asked. The questions are generally been asked where the calculation can be made very easier. Okay, those questions are tricky. The questions which has been asked in JEE exam are tricky, but they are not tricky in terms of arithmetic calculations. Okay, so this was just for the practice. Okay, so that's it for today's session. Bye bye from my side.